Peace, everybody. I'm making this video today because it is so-called holiday celebrating the birth of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I want to make a video about how the Democrats who were against the civil rights movement, the Ku Klux Klan, Joe Biden Democrats, who sick dogs and water holes on the peace march, the civil rights marches in the 60s. Now Joe Biden is talking about a voting rights bill. You was in the Senate for 50 years, and it's 2022. You still talking about voting rights. You should have did that 40, 50 years ago. That means you ain't got no attention for no Negroes. You look disgraceful and foolish. And the reason I was inspired to make this video, because I was listening to the radio, and Dr. Martin Luther King III and his daughter is trying to promote Joe Biden's legislation. You're gonna get legislated as long as you hear. No other so-called group of people in the United States need voting rights legislation. That means something ain't been done. And Biden he want to get that Build Back Better plan passed through. That's going to give 7 million illegal aliens citizenship, free education, and billions of dollars. That's going to strip the so-called HBCUs of all the money Trump allocated to them. He's using this Martin Luther King to get that through, to once again help another group of people to benefit off blacks. You know, the Latinos, the white women, the white men, the Asians, Jamaicans, Africans. Everybody got the legacy of the civil rights movement except blacks. Really, black men, because black women are considered women. They have a whole separate entity just dealing with women, businesses, women, this, that. The black man ain't got nothing allocated. You got to get in line with an Asian, a Jamaican, an African, an Arab, a white man, homosexual, Latino, and by the time you get to your position, all the money has been stripped. So it's a shame, and I'm talking about Dr. Martin Luther King III, who is the son of Dr. King, did nothing. He's living off his father's legacy. Why he ain't out there marching, doing nothing? He ain't did nothing his whole life. Just because you got the name Martin Luther King III don't mean nothing. And your daughter talking about legislation, getting a Democrat, Biden, to do something. The one who wanted to keep segregation. That means you fools don't know anything. Like, in 2022, you idiots don't know who your enemies are. You idiots still voting for Democrats and voting in general, just voting, or voting for your enemy. Because the Republican Party was the party of Abraham Lincoln, who was responsible for, you know, the 13th Amendment, so-called emancipation from slavery, the Freedmen's Bureau, Reconstruction, HBCUs, all of this. And even Dr. Martin Luther King was a Republican. They talking about somehow something switched. But since you Negroes been voting Democrats, you ain't been getting nothing. You just hoping they're gonna do something. They're gonna recognize you. When the Democrats was the ones that was in a confederacy fighting to keep you enslaved. And when we look at the data of all the Negroes who voted for Joe Biden, I think 95% black women and about 85% black men, those are the ones that you gotta just excommunicate. The vast majority of blacks is useless. They just done. It's like they know how wicked the white man is. They know how wicked Joe Biden is, but they're willing to tolerate that because they hope they get looked at. They get included in something. They hope he gonna look at them and say, I'm gonna bless you. Like he's God. Like you hoping God gonna bless you. You hoping the white man is gonna bless you more than you hope God gonna bless you. That's why you niggas ain't got nothing. That's why you still talking about voting rights, talking about voting for somebody. You've been voting for these people for 50 years. You still ain't got nothing. Are you silly? What's wrong with you Negroes? Most of you niggas got to go. You just got to go. It's like when we was in the wilderness in the book of Exodus, and these niggas always talking about Egypt. They want to go back to slavery because it was easier. They had food to eat. They wasn't out here starving, so they want to go back to Egypt and be hewers of water. Hewers of stone, wood, hewers of wood and drawers of water. You want to run back to the plantation. You niggas, and then God told Moses, all these old niggas got to die before you get in this promised land because they minds are too gone. There's no hope for these niggas. They got to die off in this wilderness, so you gotta have to be in this wilderness for 40 more years. Then we got this leadership, Farrakhan. Farrakhan has led the people nowhere. He was responsible for destroying the first resurrection of the Nation of Islam with Waradeen Muhammad. He sold all the businesses to Arabs. He got rid of the plane that was in the Gary airport, got rid of all of the farms. He got rid of everything. And when he reestablished the Nation of Islam in the 80s, he hasn't done nothing. Why is this dude still around? Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, all these old, decrepit, wrinkled up Negroes. You see, y'all, when y'all drop, y'all are not going to witness the promised land. All you old sellout, wrinkled up niggas, you are not going to witness what the blessing is because you are your minds are too enslaved. Talking about a talented 10th class of niggas who's going to integrate with white society. And you got your integration in 1964, 1965, and it ain't got nothing. You just old, looking stupid, still getting murdered on the streets, still going through the same stuff you was going through in the 60s because you niggas wanted to go into the plantation. You wanted to go back to slavery. So you old niggas got to go. We are not going to move forward until every last one of you old sellout niggas is done. Just like in the book of Exodus, when Moses was in the wilderness with Aaron, and all them niggas tried to kill Moses to go back to Egypt because they saw how ferocious the Philistines were. And the only elders who was willing to fight the Philistines was Caleb and Joshua. All the other old niggas had to get wiped out. 40 years they had to wait until every last one of them old wrinkled up niggas had to go. And then even Moses and Aaron had to go. They couldn't see the promised land. And this is what we're going through right now. These niggas still holding on to this wrinkled up old 100-year-old Joe Biden who ain't did nothing for you in his whole life. Still talking about voting rights in 2022 when he done passed a whole act for the Asians. He done gave billions of dollars to the Mexicans, illegal aliens. You niggas still talk about some voting rights. That's all I gotta say about this. And also, we gotta get a better alternative to YouTube because YouTube keep flagging me, talking about my content is this and that. And I'm like, I don't even got 100 to subscribe. Why are y'all harassing me? Why y'all bothering me? Why y'all blocking me? Sending me these emails every other time I make a video talking about how dangerous my content is, how much it's inappropriate and age restricted and deleted. Y'all harassing me, but there are alternatives to YouTube. And there's one particular streaming service is called DTube, but it's on the decentralized network dealing with crypto. DTube. There's another one. Well, I'm gonna make a video about the alternatives to YouTube, and I think one of you web designing niggas need to make one of them YouTube browsers that's black owned. Or I could do it myself. I gotta learn how to do it myself because I know you lazy, stupid niggas ain't gonna do nothing. But that's about it though.